My child, do not scroll past this message as if it found you by accident, because it did not. I am speaking to you now because the pressure you have been feeling is not random, and the separation around you is not the end of your story. There are people who were comfortable when you were wounded, silent, and easy to control, but this is the hour when I break that hold and call you out of what has been quietly working against you. Stay with me to the very end, because what I am about to reveal will uncover why everything feels different, why certain faces have changed, and why you cannot go back to who you were. Listen closely, do not look away, and do not leave this unfinished. If you stay, you will understand the battle. If you stay, you will recognize the freedom. And before this message ends, you will know exactly what I am doing in your life. My child, you have been sensing something for a while now, and I need you to stop brushing it aside as if it is just stress, just mood, just overthinking. You know in your spirit that something has shifted around you. The way certain people speak to you feels different now. The warmth you once felt has grown strangely cold. Conversations that used to feel easy now leave your heart unsettled. You walk away from certain rooms carrying a heaviness you cannot explain, and because you are kind, because you try to see the best in people, because you have a heart that has always wanted peace more than conflict, you have kept telling yourself not to make too much of it. But I need you to hear me clearly and personally right now. What you are feeling is not meaningless, and it is not your imagination. I am allowing you to notice what your heart used to excuse. I am letting you feel the discomfort because I love you too much to let hidden harm remain hidden any longer. You have spent so much of your life trying to preserve relationships, trying to hold things together, trying to remain available, understanding, forgiving, and patient even when your own spirit was becoming tired. You kept telling yourself that if you were just a little more loving, a little more flexible, a little less sensitive, then maybe things would return to how they used to be. But some things were never as healthy as you believed. Some people were close to you physically, but not aligned with what I am doing in you spiritually. They were comfortable with you when you were doubting yourself, when you weren't easier to control, when you needed their validation to feel steady. They could tolerate your pain because it made them feel secure. But now that you are changing, now that I am healing you, now that your discernment is growing and your dependence on people is weakening, they feel the difference, and not all of them know how to respond with love. Some of them are not responding with love at all. That is why the atmosphere has changed. That is why you feel watched, misread, resisted, or quietly pushed away. I am not telling you this so you become suspicious of everyone. I am telling you this because I am your father, and I will not let you keep calling danger normal just because it wears a familiar face. You do not have to force yourself to feel safe where your spirit keeps tightening. You do not have to keep explaining away the subtle wounds that keep draining you. I see what you have not wanted to fully admit. I see the envy hidden inside compliments. I see the passive resistance inside certain silences. I see how some people smile in front of you and then shrink back the moment you begin to walk in confidence, clarity, and peace. I see how some people only like the version of you that was easy to access, easy to influence, easy to lean on without ever truly pouring back into you. That version of you is fading, and that is not a tragedy. That is healing. I know part of you feels sad about this. I know you keep hoping maybe you are wrong because your heart does not enjoy letting go. You are not someone who wants to believe the worst. You are someone who has loved deeply, given sincerely, and stayed longer than many would have. But love does not require blindness, and grace does not require self-betrayal. I am not asking you to become hard. I am asking you to become honest. I am not asking you to hate anyone. I am asking you to stop ignoring what I am revealing. Some separations feel painful because you were emotionally attached to what I am spiritually removing. That does not mean I am hurting you. It means I am rescuing you from something that was quietly weakening your heart. There are relationships that look familiar on the outside but carry an invisible weight on the inside, and I have seen how that weight has been affecting you. I have seen how you second-guess yourself after certain conversations. I have seen how your peace disappears after spending time with certain people. I have seen how you walk into some spaces full of calm and walk out feeling smaller, more confused, more burdened, more emotionally tired than when you entered. That is not something I want you to normalize anymore. I want you to understand that I am not emptying your life because I am angry. I am making room because I am faithful. I am not taking away support. I am removing false support that looked like strength, but slowly trained you to carry what was never yours. And I know this can feel lonely when it first begins, because when familiar voices become distant or strange, your heart naturally grieves. But do not confuse grief with loss of purpose. You are not being abandoned. You are being repositioned. You are not standing in the middle of rejection. You are standing at the beginning of protection. I am pulling you out of places where your calling keeps getting smothered. I am drawing a line between what has access to your heart and what no longer deserves that access. I am teaching you that peace is not selfish, boundaries are not cruelty, and distance is not always division. Sometimes distance is wisdom. Sometimes silence is mercy. Sometimes what feels like a painful change is the first moment you are finally seeing clearly. So when you feel that inner tightening, when something in you becomes restless around certain people, you not immediately rebuke it as fear. Bring it to me. Sit with me in it. Ask me what I am showing you. I will not confuse you. I will steady you. I will help you discern what is passing emotion and what is genuine spiritual warning. You do not have to rush, and you do not have to make dramatic decisions in panic. But you do need to stop betraying what I keep trying to show you. You have asked me for clarity, and I am giving it to you. It may not look the way you expected. It may not arrive as a sudden miracle or a loud sign. Sometimes clarity comes as repeated discomfort, as a growing ache, as the inability to keep pretending. That is still my mercy. That is still my hand. And I want you to trust that I know exactly what I am doing in this season of separation. I have not brought you this far to let the wrong people remain close enough to confuse the next chapter of your life. My child, I want you to go deeper with me, because once I expose what your heart tried to excuse, the next step is not just awareness. The next step is alignment. Do not stop at now I see it. Move into now I will respond with wisdom. This is where many people hesitate. They recognize the truth for a moment, and then their old attachment reaches for the familiar again. They see the pattern, but because the relationship is old, because the history is long, because the memories still feel warm in certain places, they start negotiating with what I just revealed. They begin telling themselves, maybe I should wait a little longer, or maybe if I explain one more time, things will finally change. But listen to me with your full heart. Some people do not misunderstand you. They benefit from your confusion. That is why they keep you off balance. That is why their kindness can feel real one day and their coldness can feel sharp the next. That inconsistency is not always immaturity. Sometimes it is strategy. Sometimes it keeps you chasing the good moments while ignoring the overall pattern. You were not created to live emotionally hungry, always hoping the next conversation will finally restore what the last one took from you. I did not design your heart to survive on crumbs and call it connection. Let that image stay with you. If someone gives you just enough warmth to keep you attached, but not enough safety to let you rest, That is not the kind of bond I want shaping your inner world. Imagine trying to grow a garden in soil that looks rich on the surface but is poisoned underneath. You could water it faithfully. You could kneel there every day with care in your hands. You could speak hope over it and wait with patience. But if the soil itself is toxic, your tenderness will not make it fertile. That is what some of these relationships have been like. You kept bringing water. You kept bringing patience. You kept bringing grace. Yet your spirit kept weakening because the environment itself was wrong. Let that sink in. You are not failing because some things are not flourishing. Some things are not flourishing because I am showing you the ground was never healthy enough to sustain what you were trying to grow. Stop blaming yourself for the fruit that never came from poisoned soil. Stop making yourself the villain in every story just because you would rather feel guilty than grieve. Guilt feels easier to control. Grief forces you to admit something ended long before you wanted to see it. But I am with you in that grief. I am not leaving you alone in it. Bring the memories to me. Bring the conversations to me. Bring the part of you that still wants to believe if you just become gentler, quieter, more understanding, more patient, then maybe they will finally love you the way you have loved them. Bring that part to me and let me heal it. Then listen carefully and obey what I say next. Stop over-explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop handing your private peace to those who keep returning it bruised. Step back when I tell you to step back. Pause before replying. Guard your inner room. Ask before you share. Pray before you respond. Wait before you open the door again. Let silence reveal what noise has been hiding. I want more than emotional survival for you. I want you to become a person whose peace is not negotiable. That does not mean you become cold. It means you become anchored. It means you stop measuring love by access. It means you stop believing that being needed is the same as being cherished. It means you stop treating every old connection as sacred simply because it is familiar. Some things are old and still holy. Some things are old and simply old. Learn the difference with me. Invite me into every decision. Say, Father, show me who is safe. Say, Father, teach me how to love without abandoning myself. Say, Father, close the door if I keep trying to reopen what you are trying to end. Those are powerful prayers. Pray them slowly. Pray them sincerely. Then be brave enough to live the answer. I know part of you fears that if you stop excusing people, your life will become emptier. But hear me. I never remove to leave you barren. I remove to make room. I clear the clutter before I send what is clean. I loosen false ties before I establish true ones. I pull you out of emotionally crowded rooms so you can finally hear my voice without so much interference. And as you let me do this, you will begin to notice something beautiful. Your thoughts will settle. Your body will unclench. Your joy will stop feeling guilty. Your peace will return in small waves at first, then stronger, steadier, deeper. You will begin to trust what you sense instead of instantly dismissing it. You will stop translating every red flag into a reason to stay. You will begin to feel what it is like to be emotionally safe in my presence, and that safety will teach you what healthy human connection should also feel like. So do not run from this exposure. Welcome it. Let it do its work. Let me be the light in the room you kept trying to navigate in the dark. Let me be the hand on your shoulder when the truth hurts. Let me be the father who says, with tenderness and firmness, no more excuses, my child. I love you too much to let you keep calling wounds by gentler names. This is the turning point. Step into it. Receive it. Trust it. Then walk forward lighter than before. My child, now that your eyes are opening, and you are no longer excusing what has been draining your spirit. Listen closely. This clarity I am giving you is not only for you, but for many who are still trapped in silent confusion. There are hearts waiting in darkness for this same light, and I am calling you to help carry it. When you give through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the description, you are sowing seed into fertile ground, and I declare over you, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and that word lives for you now. This is not a transaction. This is participation in a harvest of souls. I am inviting you, yes, you, to become a vessel through which my truth flows like oil that never runs dry. Every act of giving becomes a flame that reaches someone who feels unseen, unheard, and unsure. Do not hesitate, because this moment is appointed, and your obedience carries eternal weight. I will multiply what you release and return it to you in ways you cannot predict. Step forward now, give, support, and become part of what I am doing. My child, I need you to understand something even more personal. Some of the tension you feel is not because you suddenly became difficult. It is not because you lost your kindness. It is not because you changed into someone cold, proud, or unreachable. The reason certain people have become uneasy is much simpler than that, and it is also more painful to admit. They were attached to a version of you that no longer exists. They miss the version of you that kept over-explaining, the version of you that answered every call even when you were empty, the version of you that doubted yourself enough to let their opinions carry more weight than mine. They were comfortable with a version of you that apologized for having needs, that called your exhaustion being strong, that called your silence keeping the peace, that kept handing out access even when your spirit was bleeding in private. That version of you survived what many people never saw. I honor that version of you. I was with you in every tear, every restless night, every moment when you smiled for others and then sat alone with a heaviness you could not describe. I saw how you learned to stay agreeable because it felt safer. I saw how you learned to become useful because usefulness got rewarded even when your soul was tired. I saw how you confused being needed with being valued because the line between those two can feel very thin when your heart is hungry for love. But I did not rescue you from those seasons just so you could stay there. I did not breathe life back into your confidence so you could return it to the same hands that were comfortable when you were uncertain. I did not heal your discernment so you could silence it the moment someone became uncomfortable with your growth. The new you is not a problem. The new you is evidence that I have been working. That is why some people no longer know what to do with you. They liked your softness when it came without boundaries. They liked your generosity when it came without discernment. They liked your availability when it cost you your rest. They liked being able to predict that you would bend, explain, rescue, and remain. But now you pause. Now you listen. Now you ask me before you say yes. Now you notice the atmosphere in the room. Now you recognize when your peace leaves. Now you understand that love is not measured by how much you can endure in silence. That shift unsettles those who depended on your confusion. Do not apologize for that. Do not shrink back now just because someone is reacting to the healthier version of you. This is where I need you to be brave. Look at what is happening without self-betrayal. When someone becomes colder because you set a boundary, pay attention. When someone becomes distant because you no longer chase them, notice that. When someone subtly mocks your growth, your peace, your faith, or your clarity, stop and ask yourself why their comfort depends on your regression. I am not asking you to become suspicious. I am asking you to become sober-minded. I am asking you to let the fruit reveal the root. A tree may look beautiful from a distance, but when the fruit turns bitter every time you reach for it, wisdom does not call that sweetness. You have been standing in orchards that looked familiar while eating fruit that kept making your spirit sick. That is why I am interrupting you now. Step back. Breathe. Observe. Ask me what is truly happening. Let me show you the difference between someone adjusting to your growth and someone quietly resisting it. There is a difference. Some people will need time, and they will eventually meet you in maturity. Others only love your accessibility, not your transformation. That distinction matters. Do not collapse them into one category because your heart hates disappointment. Invite me into the discomfort. Say, Father, show me whether this person is learning me again or whether they only want the old version back. Pray that honestly. Pray it slowly. Then listen. I will show you through consistency, through peace, through the way your spirit responds after interaction, through the fruit that keeps appearing over time. Let time tell the truth. Let repeated patterns speak louder than old memories. Let your healing have the final say. And if you begin to see that someone only feels safe when you are smaller, then stop grieving as if you have done something wrong. You are not losing something holy. You are outgrowing something that no longer honors what I am building in you. It can hurt, yes. It can feel like a small death. But not every death is destruction. Some things must die so your real life can breathe. Think of a bird that outgrew a cage it once called home. The cage may have felt familiar. It may have been the place where you learned how to survive. But if I open the door and teach your wings to work again, why would you go back and call the cage loyalty? You were not made to remain in spaces where your freedom makes others uncomfortable. You were made to fly with me, even if some people called it distance when it is actually deliverance. So stop rehearsing guilt over becoming healthier. Stop apologizing in your mind for being harder to manipulate. Stop translating your growth into arrogance just because somebody else cannot access you the way they used to. A new you is not cruel. A new you is awake. The new you is beginning to understand that peace is precious, that access is earned, and that being loved should not feel like being slowly emptied. That realization is holy. Protect it. Honor it. Walk in it. And if someone misses the old you, let them miss what no longer belongs to this season. You do not need to resurrect the version of you I lovingly laid to rest. My child, I want you to go deeper still, because this is not only about recognizing who misses the old you. It is about learning how to stand inside the new you without fear, without shame, and without the constant temptation to go backward just to make others comfortable. This is where your heart has often stumbled. You start to grow. You begin to feel stronger. You notice your peace becoming more stable. And then the reactions around you make you question whether your healing has made you too much. Someone calls you distant because you no longer respond instantly. Someone hints that you have changed because you stopped oversharing. Someone acts hurt because you no longer rescue them from every crisis they create. Someone subtly implies that your boundaries are selfish, that your quiet is pride, that your discernment is judgment. And because you care, because you do not enjoy being misunderstood, because your heart is still tender, you start to wonder if maybe they are right. But listen carefully and receive this as a command from my heart to yours. Stop measuring your transformation by the discomfort of those who benefited from your lack of it. That discomfort is not your compass. I am. Come back to me every time guilt starts speaking louder than truth. Sit with me before you rush to fix what I did not ask you to fix. Ask me before you reopen a door I have been gently closing. Let me retrain your instincts. For a long time, your instinct was to soothe everyone else first. Now I am teaching you to check the condition of your spirit before you volunteer your energy. For a long time, your instinct was to interpret other people's disappointment as evidence that you failed them. Now I am teaching you to ask whether their disappointment is simply the sound of losing control. That question will save you from many false burdens. Some people are not mourning intimacy. They are mourning influence. Some are not grieving connection. They are grieving convenience. Some are not sad because they lost your heart. They are unsettled because they lost access to your old habits. I want you to be wise enough to tell the difference. Picture a lamp in a dark room. When the light is low, everyone adjusts easily. The room remains comfortable for those who prefer the shadows. But when the flame grows stronger, the corners become visible. Dust appears. Hidden things show themselves. Suddenly the brighter light is blamed for the discomfort, when in truth the discomfort came from what the light revealed. That is what your healing has done. You are not the problem because the room changed. Your light simply became strong enough to expose what was always there. Do not dim yourself now. End the flame. Protect it. Feed it with prayer, with stillness, with my presence, with wise restraint, with the courage to disappoint the wrong people so you can remain aligned with me. And I want you to hear this invitation with tenderness. Stop trying to be understood by everyone. That desire has worn you down. You keep thinking if you can just say it better, phrase it softer, explain it longer, then maybe they will finally see your heart. But some people do see your heart, and that is exactly why they resist your growth. They know if you fully become who I am calling you to be, you will no longer tolerate what once drained you. So let go of the endless explanations. Practice holy brevity. Say less when I tell you to say less. Leave room for silence to reveal what words only delay. If someone is truly for you, time and truth will bring clarity. If someone is not, your explanations will only become more rope for them to pull. I do not want that for you anymore. I want you free. I want you clear. I want you grounded enough that when old guilt knocks, you do not open the door automatically. I want you to learn how to feel compassion without surrendering discernment. That is mature love. That is the kind of love I am forming in you. And let me say this too, because your heart needs hope, not just warning. I am not asking you to become the kind of person who trusts no one. I am not shaping you into isolation. I am shaping you into wisdom. There are people I am preparing who will not fear your healing. There are people I am bringing who will not need your wounds to feel close to you. There are people who will meet the new you with reverence, not resentment. They will not panic when you set a boundary. They will not punish you for needing space. They will not interpret your peace as distance. They will recognize my work in you and honor it. But if you keep running back to prove loyalty to those who only loved the version of you that was easier to control, you may miss the people who are actually capable of walking with you in truth. So do not go backward. Resist that temptation. If you feel it rising, stop and pray. If guilt starts tightening in your chest, bring it to me before you text, before you call, before you explain, before you rush back into an old pattern. Let me interrupt the reflex. Let me steady your hands. Let me remind you that becoming healthier often feels strange at first because it is unfamiliar, not because it is wrong. Stay here with me. Stay in the new ground even if it feels uncomfortable. The soil may feel different beneath your feet, but it is fertile. It is clean. It is mine. And where I am planting you now, your roots will go deeper, your peace will grow stronger, and your life will no longer depend on staying small enough for others to feel comfortable around you. Receive that. Walk in that. Do not return to the old route. I have opened the window, strengthened your lungs, and called you into fresh air. Breathe it in. This is not rebellion. This is restoration. My child, as you step into the strength of who you are becoming and release the version of you that could be controlled, Understand this. Your freedom is a testimony meant to reach others still bound. I am raising voices, messages, and vessels to awaken my people, and I am calling you to help sustain that flow. When you give through Super Thanks, join as a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are planting seeds into a field that is ready for harvest. I have said, give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and I am speaking that over your life now. This is your moment to partner with me, to turn your freedom into provision for others. Do not shrink back. This is not about obligation. It is about alignment with my movement. Your generosity becomes a river that carries healing to those who cannot yet stand. I will bless your hand, guard your resources, and expand what you release. Act now. Step into this and give as I lead you. My child, I know this season has felt strange in a way that is difficult for you to explain to anyone else. There are moments when you sit in silence and try to name what is happening, and all you can come up with is a kind of heaviness that does not fully belong to grief and does not fully belong to confusion. It feels like things are shifting under your feet. Familiar people feel unfamiliar. Places that once felt normal now feel tight around your spirit. Old routines no longer comfort you the way they used to. Even your own heart feels like it is being rearranged from the inside, and because so much is changing at once, there is a part of you that keeps wondering if I am displeased with you. You have quietly asked whether this distance, this disruption, this loneliness, this uncomfortable separation might be some kind of punishment. You have looked at the closed doors, the awkward silences, the relationships that suddenly feel strained, and you have thought, did I do something wrong? Did I miss God somewhere? Is this why everything feels unsettled? I want you to stop right there and listen to me with your full attention. Come close. Let these words settle in the deepest part of you. I am not punishing you. I am repositioning you. This is not wrath. This is mercy with movement. This is not rejection. This is rescue in progress. You are feeling the ache of transition, not the sentence of abandonment. And I need you to receive that, because if you keep misreading my hand, you will resist the very process that is meant to free you. There are seasons when I comfort you by surrounding you with reassurance, and there are seasons when I comfort you by removing what was quietly harming you. This is one of those seasons. I have watched how long you have stayed in environments that kept confusing your spirit. I have seen how many times you tried to force peace in places where peace was no longer living. I have seen you keep showing up with sincerity in rooms that kept draining your joy. I have seen you interpret exhaustion as loyalty and emotional depletion as love. I have seen how you remained available out of habit, even when every interaction left you carrying a residue you could not shake. I am not angry that you did that. I understand why. Your heart is faithful. Your heart tries. Your heart hopes. But your heart was never meant to be a hallway through which everyone passes while you stand there carrying the cost. That is why I am moving things now. That is why conversations feel different. That is why certain people have become more distant or more difficult. That is why some doors have not reopened no matter how much you tried. That is why the old atmosphere no longer fits around you. I am changing your position because the place you have been standing is no longer safe for what I am growing in you. Think of a gardener who sees a young plant bending under the wrong kind of shade. The plant may have grown there for a while. It may even look rooted. But if the gardener knows the light in that place is too weak, the soil too crowded, the air too stale, he will move it. And when he does, the roots feel the shock. The soil changes. The familiar surroundings disappear. For a moment, the plant may look unsettled, but the move was never punishment. The move was preservation. That is what I am doing with you. I am lifting you out of crowded soil. I am moving you away from conditions that look stable but were quietly limiting your growth. I am not uprooting you to harm you. I am transplanting you to save you. So stop calling this season a failure. Stop looking at the discomfort and assuming I am against you. Stop interpreting every loss as if it is proof that you are falling behind. Some losses are mercy. Some distances are healing. Some closed doors are the first time you are finally no longer being drained by what you once called normal. I want you to notice something important. The very things that feel painful right now are also the things that have made you start praying more honestly. You are speaking to me differently in this season. You are not performing. You are not giving me polished words. You are coming to me tired, confused, raw and open. That matters. You are leaning on me in places where you used to lean on people. That matters too. The ground is shifting because I am drawing you closer to the center of my will, and sometimes the path back to center feels like loss before it feels like peace. But if you stay with me, if you stop fighting the repositioning and start cooperating with it, you will begin to see the mercy hidden inside the movement. You will realize that what felt like isolation was actually protection. You will realize that what felt like a painful interruption was me refusing to let your future be shaped by relationships, environments, and patterns that could not carry where I am taking you. So do not panic. Do not rush back to old places just because the new ground feels unfamiliar. Do not mistake the discomfort of adjustment for evidence that I made a mistake. I know exactly where I am placing you. I know exactly what I am removing. I know exactly why the old arrangement had to change. Sit with me. Breathe. Stop trying to force things back into their previous shape. Put your hand over your heart and say, Father, if this is repositioning, teach me how to stand still long enough to understand it. Pray that. Mean it. And let me work. Let me shift the furniture of your life. Let me close what needs closing. Let me widen what needs widening. Let me lead you into the place where your spirit can finally breathe again. My child, I want you to go even deeper here because I know your greatest struggle is not only the pain of change. It is the emotional attachment to what I am moving you away from. That is the part that makes this season feel so personal. If I were only removing obvious enemies, you would understand it quickly. If I were only closing doors you already hated, you would not hesitate. But some of what I am separating you from contains memories, history, comfort, familiarity, and pieces of yourself that once felt deeply intertwined with your identity. That is why this hurts. That is why your mind keeps circling back. That is why you sometimes feel tempted to run back to the very things I am trying to free you from. You miss the familiar shape of what used to be, even when the current reality of it has already changed. You are grieving what you hoped it could still become. And I want you to know that I see that grief. I do not rush past it. I do not shame you for it. I am not standing over you impatiently saying, "Why are you still struggling?" I know why. You love us sincerely. You invested deeply. You stayed longer than most people would have. You built emotional homes in places that once felt safe. It is not small to leave those places, even when they are no longer healthy. But I need you to hear this with all the gentleness and all the authority of a father who refuses to let you stay stuck in false comfort. You cannot keep asking me for new life while trying to drag old environments into it. You cannot ask me for peace and then keep rebuilding access for what keeps stealing it. You cannot pray for clarity and then resent me when I remove the fog. This is where surrender becomes real. Surrender is not just saying you trust me when I bless what you wanted. Surrender is trusting me when I rearrange what you would have left untouched. So let me ask you something tenderly. What are you still trying to preserve that I have already begun to move? Where are you still trying to reopen what I am gently closing? Which relationship, which pattern, which routine, which emotional dependency are you secretly hoping I will allow you to keep exactly as it was? Bring that to me. Name it. Do not hide it in vague spiritual language. Say it plainly. Let me into the exact place where your resistance still lives. Then watch what happens when you stop resisting. There is a peace waiting on the other side of your cooperation that you have not yet tasted. There is a lightness waiting for you that cannot come while you are still clutching the old arrangement. Picture a room filled with furniture that once served a purpose but now leaves no space to walk. You can love the pieces. You can remember what they meant. You can even appreciate how they carried you through another season. But if the room has become too crowded to live in, then keeping everything becomes its own form of captivity. That is what your soul has felt like. Too crowded, too cluttered, too full of emotional furniture that no longer fits the life I am building. And now I am entering the room with gentle but firm hands, not to disrespect your memories, but to make space for your future. Let me move things. Let me carry out what you keep trying to drag back in. Let me clear the pathways in your heart. Let me open windows where the air has been stale. Let me teach you what it feels like to live in a soul that is not constantly crowded by unresolved attachment. I am not taking everything away. I am removing what keeps the room too full for peace. That is why I want you to stop calling this punishment. Punishment pushes you away. Repositioning calls you closer. Punishment says you failed. Repositioning says, come with me. I have more for you than this. Punishment leaves you ashamed. Repositioning trains you to trust. And that is what I am doing. I am training you to trust me when the map changes. I am training you to follow me when the road turns unfamiliar. I am training you to stop making an idol out of what used to be. Some of the pain you feel is not because I am hurting you. It is because your soul is adjusting to a healthier place than it has known in a long time. Do not run from that adjustment. Stay in it. When the loneliness rises, come to me first instead of reaching for what is familiar. When the urge to reconnect with the old pattern starts whispering, pause and ask me what is truly happening. When your emotions tell you to go back simply because the new ground feels uncertain, stop and let my truth speak louder than your discomfort. I am not leading you into emptiness. I am leading you into room. I am not stripping you to leave you exposed. I am stripping away what made it hard for you to breathe. And soon, if you stay with me, you will notice a change. Your prayers will deepen. Your thoughts will quiet. Your body will begin to unclench. Your spirit will stop bracing all the time. You will begin to recognize that what once felt like love was often pressure, that what once felt like responsibility was often entanglement, that what once felt like loyalty was sometimes fear of letting go. That realization will not make you bitter. It will make you free. So receive this, my child. Stop calling my mercy punishment. Stop calling my protection rejection. Stop calling my movement loss. I am repositioning you because where you are going requires cleaner air, deeper roots, and a life that is no longer shaped by what kept quietly weakening you. Stay close. Stay open. Stay teachable. Let me finish what I have started. I know this path. I chose this ground. And I promise you, when the repositioning is complete, you will not miss the old place the way you fear you will. You will look around, breathe deeply, and realize for the first time in a long while that your soul has room to live. My child, as you begin to understand that I am repositioning you and not punishing you, hear this clearly. I am also repositioning you as a builder in my kingdom. The very shift you feel is creating space not only in your life, but in the lives of those I will reach through you. When you choose to give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into divine movement, and I declare, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot contain. This is a sacred exchange. Your seed becomes someone else's breakthrough. I am inviting you personally, step into this moment and partner with what I am doing right now. Do not call this small. This is kingdom work, and it carries eternal impact. Your obedience will unlock provision, protection, and unexpected favor in your path. Move with me in this, do not delay. Give now and take your place in the harvest I am preparing. My child, I know there is still a quiet fear inside you that you do not always say out loud. You wonder whether all this separating means you are being led into loneliness. You wonder whether the pain of seeing people differently will leave you suspicious, closed off, and unable to trust anyone again. You wonder if the cost of growing is that your world becomes smaller and colder. I need you to let me speak directly into that fear right now, because I do not want it quietly shaping the way you respond to this season. Come close. Listen carefully. I am not building your future around isolation. I am not clearing people out of your life so that you will end up empty. I am making room. There is a difference, and it matters more than you realize. The enemy wants you to look at every separation and call it loss. I want you to look at this season and understand it as preparation. What I am removing is not the end of your story. It is the clearing before the planting. It is the cleaning before the filling. It is the lifting of old emotional furniture so there is finally space to walk without tripping over what never truly belonged in the room. Some of what has left you weary was not just pain. It was weight. Some of the relationships you tried so hard to maintain were not just difficult. They were heavy in a way that kept your spirit from moving freely. They demanded constant explanation, constant management, constant emotional translation. They required you to stay hyper-aware, over-available, and overly responsible for the atmosphere. That is not how I designed true connection. Real connection does not require you to abandon yourself to keep it alive. Healthy relationships do not force you to carry the entire emotional structure on your own. They do not leave you feeling like you must constantly perform peace while quietly absorbing pressure. That is why I am clearing the wrong weight first. If I send the right people too soon, before you have released the old burdens, you may not recognize them. You may mistrust what is healthy because it feels unfamiliar. You may mistake peace for distance because you have grown used to intensity. You may sabotage what is safe because your nervous system has been trained to call chaos normal. I will not let that happen if you stay with me. I am teaching you what clean connection feels like. I am reteaching your heart what safety feels like. I am showing you that love does not need to be exhausting in order to be real. Picture a traveler walking for miles with a backpack filled with stones. At first, the weight becomes so familiar that the traveler forgets it is there. He adjusts his posture around it. He shortens his breath around it. He changes the way he walks just to survive carrying it. Then one day someone removes the bag, and for a moment, even lightness feels strange. That is what your soul has been experiencing. You became so accustomed to emotional heaviness that peace started to feel unfamiliar. That is why I am not rushing the next connections. I am first removing the stones. I am first showing you what was never meant to be yours. I am first teaching your spirit to breathe again without bracing. Do not rush this. Do not try to fill the space too quickly just because the emptiness feels unfamiliar. Let the clearing happen. Let the silence settle. Let the room stay open long enough for you to notice how much lighter your inner life becomes when the wrong weight is gone. And listen to me carefully here. because this is where your obedience matters. Stop reaching back for what I am lifting off you just because the absence feels strange. Stop texting what I told you to release. Stop reopening doors because the quiet feels uncomfortable. Stop assuming that just because you feel lonely for a moment, you should run back to what was familiar. Sit in the open space with me. Let me occupy the room before anyone else does. Let me teach your heart how to rest without noise. Let me show you that your life is not empty just because it is no longer crowded. There is a holy difference between emptiness and openness. Emptiness feels abandoned. Openness is what happens when I am preparing to bring in what belongs. That is where you are. You are in holy openness. You are in sacred clearing. You are in the season where I am creating room for relationships that do not need your brokenness to feel secure. I am preparing people who will not be threatened by your healing, who will not punish your boundaries, who will not interpret your peace as rejection, who will not demand your exhaustion as proof of your loyalty. I am sending people who can sit with a new you and not flinch. I am sending people who will recognize my hand on your life and honor it instead of quietly resisting it. I am sending people whose presence will not feel like a test you have to pass. But if you keep clinging to the old weight, you will not have the capacity to receive what is clean when it arrives. So obey me here. Release what I am removing. Bless what needs blessing from a distance. Let go without hatred. Step back without guilt. Wait without panic. Trust me in the open space. I know what I am doing. The clearing is not the final chapter. It is the mercy before the gift. My child, let me take you deeper, because I do not want you to only know that I am sending the right people someday. I want you to begin understanding how to recognize them when they come, because if I do not teach you that now, you may overlook the very answer you prayed for. For a long time, you have been trained by survival, not by safety. You have been shaped by inconsistency, by emotional unpredictability, by relationships where warmth could turn cold without warning, where access came with pressure, where affection sometimes felt tied to how useful, available, or agreeable you were. That history has left marks, and I know it. It has made you cautious in some places and too quick to attach in others. It has taught you to scan the room. It has taught you to overread tone. It has taught you to brace for disappointment even when nothing has been wrong yet. I am not condemning you for that. I understand why those reflexes formed. But I am retraining them now, because the right people will feel different than what you have grown used to. And I do not want you to reject what is healthy simply because it lacks the emotional intensity that used to keep you hooked. The right people will not always feel dramatic. They may not flood your life with urgency. They may not create a constant emotional high. They may not require you to prove yourself every week. In fact, some of the healthiest relationships I bring you may feel almost quiet at first. They will feel steady. They will feel breathable. They will not pull you into constant anxiety. They will not leave you overthinking every interaction. They will not make you earn basic care through overfunctioning. That may feel unfamiliar enough that your old instincts misread it. You may think, why does this feel so calm? Why is there no emotional rush? Why am I not constantly trying to figure out where I stand? And that is where I need you to remember what I have been teaching you. Peace is not emptiness. Calm is not disinterest. Stability is not distance. Sometimes the right thing feels less intense because it is not feeding your old wounds. Sometimes the right people do not create emotional fireworks because they are not manipulating your nervous system. Sometimes the relationships I sent feel safer because they are safer. Let that truth settle in you. Think of a home built on a strong foundation. It may not sway dramatically in every wind. It may not creak loudly every night. It may not make you feel like disaster is always one step away. It simply stands. That kind of steadiness can feel strange when you have lived too long in houses that shook. But do not mistake the absence of chaos for the absence of depth. Some of the deepest love I will bring into your life will arrive with steadiness, not spectacle. So prepare your heart now. Ask me to help you recognize peace when it arrives in human form. Ask me to help you stop craving intensity and start valuing consistency. Ask me to help you notice who respects your no, who listens without twisting your words, who can hold your honesty without punishing you for it, who remains steady when you are not performing, who can celebrate your growth without trying to reduce it. Those are signs. Those are markers. Watch for them. And let me also say this, because you need both hope and instruction. The right people are not perfect people. Do not expect flawless human beings. They will still be human. They will still have limits, weaknesses, and moments where they miss things. But there is a difference between imperfection and misalignment. There is a difference between someone who makes a mistake and someone whose consistent pattern drains your spirit. Learn that difference. Let me help you discern it. The right people may still need grace, but they will not require your constant self-abandonment to stay close. They will not build intimacy by feeding on your confusion. They will not ask you to shrink so they can feel secure. They will not make your healing feel like a threat. And when they come, I want you ready. I want your hands open, not clenched around old grief. I want your spirit free enough to receive them without comparing them to the wrong people who left. I want you to welcome what is clean without dragging suspicion into every doorway. That is why I am doing this inner work first. That is why I am clearing the weight. That is why I keep asking you to bring your loneliness to me instead of filling it too quickly. I want to become your center so that when the right people arrive, they become a blessing, not an idol. They become companions, not replacements for me. They become part of your healing, not the source of your identity. This matters deeply. If I send the right people before I become your deepest security, you may cling to them too tightly and turn them into something they were never meant to be. But if you let me anchor you first, then when they arrive, you will love from fullness, not from desperation. You will connect from peace, not from panic. You will discern with clarity, not with hunger. So stay with me in this open season. Let me finish the clearing. Let me settle your soul. Let me retrain your expectations. And while you wait, do not say, I am alone. Say instead, my Father is making room. Do not say, everything is being taken from me. Say instead, my Father is preparing what fits. Speak that over yourself when the quiet feels heavy. Return to the truth when old attachments whisper. I am not leaving you empty. I am removing the wrong weight so you can actually carry the right blessing when it comes. And it is coming. Not by accident. Not randomly. By my hand. In my time. With the kind of peace that does not leave you questioning whether love should always cost this much. Stay ready. Stay open. Stay teachable. The room is being prepared. My child, as I clear the wrong weight from your life and prepare to bring the right people, understand this truth. You are also being invited to help carry others into that same freedom. There are souls waiting for this message, and your giving becomes the bridge that reaches them. When you sow through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are releasing seed into good soil, and I declare over you, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest will not cease. This is your moment to participate in something eternal, something far greater than what you can see. I am asking you, will you help me fill the empty rooms with light? Your generosity becomes oil that keeps this message burning for those still searching. I will multiply your seed, protect your provision, and surround you with my favor. Do not wait for another time. This is your appointed moment. Step forward and give now. My child, I want you to hear the final truth that must settle in your spirit before you move into what comes next. You are not surrounded by loss the way your emotions keep trying to tell you. You are not standing in the ruins of your life. You are not watching everything meaningful collapse around you. You are not being emptied because I have forgotten you. And you are not being stripped because I want you weak. What you are standing in right now is far more sacred than your fear has been able to recognize. You are standing at the edge of freedom. And freedom does not always announce itself the way you imagined. Sometimes it does not arrive with celebration first. Sometimes it arrives through exposure. Sometimes it enters through endings. Sometimes it comes disguised as distance, silence, discomfort, or a painful unraveling of things you once thought would remain forever. That is why I need you to slow down and let me interpret this season for you instead of letting your wounds do it. Your wounds will always call this abandonment if I do not speak louder. Your fear will always call this rejection if you do not let my truth steady you. But I am telling you now, as clearly and personally as I can, this is not the end of your life. This is the breaking of a hidden captivity. For so long, you have been carrying things you were never meant to carry. You carried the pressure to be understood by everyone. You carried the responsibility of holding together relationships that only survived because you kept sacrificing your own peace. You carried the ache of trying to stay loyal to people who were no longer safe for your spirit. You carried the habit of interpreting every change as if it must somehow be your fault. You carried the old reflex of shrinking when tension rose. You carried the need to over-explain, to overgive, to overfunction, to overcompensate, all because some deep place in you feared that if you stopped, you would lose love. That was bondage, my child. It may have looked normal because it lasted a long time. It may have looked like loyalty because it involved people you cared about. It may have looked like maturity because you learned how to stay calm while your inner world was straining. But beneath all of that, there were chains. They were not always loud chains. Some of them were quiet. Some were emotional. Some were hidden inside patterns you called personality, responsibility, or just the way things are. But they were still chains. And now I am breaking them. That is why things feel unstable. That is why the old dynamics cannot hold. That is why certain people are reacting. That is why some doors have shut, why some conversations no longer land the same, why some spaces suddenly feel impossible to stay inside without feeling like your soul is suffocating. It is because what once held you is losing its grip. And when chains begin to break, there is often noise. There is movement. There is confusion before clarity settles. There is a shaking that feels unsettling until you realize it with the sound of captivity losing its authority. Do not fear that sound. Do not run from it. Stay with me through it. Let me finish the breaking. Picture a prisoner who has worn chains so long that when they finally fall, the weightlessness feels almost disorienting. The ankles still remember the metal. The skin still carries the marks. The body may even hesitate to move because freedom feels unfamiliar at first. That is where you are. Some part of you still expects the old weight. Some part of you still reaches for the familiar burden because it has shaped your posture for so long. That is why you sometimes feel tempted to go back. That is why you sometimes miss what was hurting you. That is why you sometimes confuse the ache of adjustment with evidence that freedom is wrong. But listen to me and obey what I am saying. Do not go back to the chains because the open space feels strange. Do not return to what drained you because the silence feels uncomfortable. Do not romanticize what I rescued you from just because your heart is still adjusting to life without the weight. Stay in the open place with me. Breathe in the unfamiliar air. Let your soul relearn what it feels like to live without constant pressure. Let your body discover what peace feels like when it is not interrupted every day. Let your mind stop rehearsing every possible reaction from everyone around you. You do not need to keep living like you are trapped inside emotional weather systems that change without warning. I'm bringing you out. That is what this is. This is exodus in places you did not even realize were still enslaved. This is deliverance in your patterns, in your attachments, in your reactions, in your self-perception, in the hidden agreements you made with fear. And because it is real deliverance, it requires that you do more than admire it. You must walk in it. You must cooperate with it. You must stop calling it loss just because some things are falling away. Let them fall. Let them leave. Let them end. Let them reveal themselves. Let the silence say what the noise kept hiding. Let the emptiness become holy space. Let the tears come if they need to, but do not mistake grief for defeat. Some grief is simply the soul releasing what it no longer has permission to carry. You are not dying here. You are being freed. And I need you to hear that until it settles deeper than the ache. I need you to stop looking around and saying, everything is being taken from me, and start saying, my Father is breaking what once held me. Speak that. Believe it. Return to it every time fear rises. This is not the collapse of your future. This is the removal of what could not go with you. Freedom is closer than your feelings can yet measure, but it is here, and you are standing right at its edge. My child, let me take you into the final layer of this because I do not want you merely to survive this revelation. I want you to step fully into the freedom I have been speaking over you. And to do that, you must understand that freedom is not only what you are leaving behind. Freedom is also how you will live from this point forward if you choose to walk with me in a new way. It is one thing to have the chains fall. It is another thing to stop living like they are still there. That is the invitation before you now. I am not only setting you free from certain people, certain patterns, certain emotional entanglements, certain old reflexes. I am inviting you into a new posture of living. A freer life will require freer decisions. A freer heart will require freer boundaries. A freer spirit will require freer trust in me. You cannot keep speaking like someone trapped and expect to experience the full joy of release. You cannot keep reopening doors to prove you are loving, and then wonder why the room keeps filling with the same old heaviness. You cannot keep calling every boundary selfish, every pause avoidance, every act of discernment being too much, and then ask why peace remains fragile. This is where your agreement matters. This is where you choose whether the freedom I am giving you becomes your reality, or remains only a moment you briefly touched before returning to old captivity. So listen carefully, because I am giving you invitations that must become actions. Stop reaching back to what I am moving you beyond. Stop feeding conversations that keep your spirit in confusion. Stop negotiating with doors I have clearly closed. Stop giving your mind to people who have already shown you they do not know how to handle your heart with reverence. Stop apologizing for the healing I worked so hard to bring into your life. Stop calling your obedience too much just because it inconveniences those who preferred your confusion. Stop grieving every distance as if it is a tragedy. Some distances are where your lungs finally fill with clean air. Some endings are where your real life begins. Some silences are the first honest thing a relationship has ever given you. Let that truth stand. Receive it without shame. And now I want you to do something deeper than simply stop old habits. I want you to start building new ones. Build a life that matches the freedom I am giving you. Create rhythms that protect your peace. Return to me quickly, When your mind starts spiraling, practice asking me before you respond. Practice waiting before you react. Practice honoring what your spirit senses instead of overriding it to keep someone else comfortable. Practice resting without guilt. Practice saying no without explaining yourself into exhaustion. Practice letting love be measured by truth, not by how much pain you can endure in silence. This is how freedom becomes embodied. This is how deliverance becomes daily life. Think of a person who leaves a dark room after years and steps into sunlight. At first the eyes squint. The brightness feels too sharp. The body wants to retreat because the old darkness was easier to predict. But if that person stays in the light, slowly the eyes adjust. Shades become clearer. Colors become richer. The world begins to look the way it was meant to look all along. That is what this next season will feel like if you stay with me. The light may feel intense at first because clarity always does after long confusion. The peace may feel almost suspicious at first because chaos taught you to expect interruption. The healthy boundaries may feel awkward because your old identity was built around being endlessly available. But stay in the light. Stay in the freedom. Stay in the clear air. Do not retreat just because your soul needs time to adjust to safety. I am with you in that adjustment. I will remind you when old thoughts return. I will steady you when guilt tries to drag you backward. I will comfort you when grief rises for things you know you can no longer carry. I will guide you when new people enter your life and old fears try to misread them. I will keep teaching you a clean love, clean peace, and clean connection feel like. But you must stay willing. You must stay soft toward me. You must stay brave enough to disappoint the wrong expectations so you can remain aligned with my heart. And hear me closely now, because this is the final word I want sealed inside you for this message. You are not late. You are not ruined. You are not too damaged by what you survived. You are not standing in the aftermath of defeat. You are standing at the threshold of a freer life than you have known in a long time. What felt like things falling apart was often me refusing to let you keep living in hidden bondage. What felt like rejection was often my hand separating you from what could no longer honor where I am taking you. What felt like unbearable change was often the sound of chains hitting the floor. So do not look back with longing. Look back with understanding. Do not keep calling the prison home because it once felt familiar. Do not call captivity loyalty because it lasted a long time. Lift your head. Open your hands. Breathe deeply. Step forward. Say yes to the freedom I am offering you. Say yes to the life that does not require you to stay small. Say yes to the peace that does not depend on everyone around you agreeing. Say yes to the relationships that will honor your healing instead of feeding on your wounds. Say yes to the nearness with me that has been forming you through every painful shift. And if you feel afraid, come closer, not farther. If you feel uncertain, ask me again. If you feel tempted to return, stop and let me remind you what I brought you out of. I am not asking you to walk into freedom alone. I'm asking you to walk into it with me. Take my hand. Do not hesitate. Do not delay. Do not shrink now that the door is open. Step through it. Your life is not ending here, my child. Your life is finally beginning to breathe. My child, as you stand at the edge of freedom and feel the chains falling from your life, know this: your freedom is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of impact. I am calling you to help others step into this same release, and your giving becomes part of that deliverance. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into liberation, and I declare, whom the Son sets free is free indeed, and that freedom will multiply through your obedience. This is not a passive moment. This is a divine invitation with eternal consequence. I am speaking to your heart right now. Partner with me, and let your seed become a key that unlocks chains for others. Your generosity will return to you as abundance, protection, and divine increase. Do not look back, and do not hold back. Step into freedom fully. Give now, act now, and move with me. If this message is for you, do not stay silent. I want you to write this in the comments right now. I will not go back. God is setting me free. Make that your declaration, because what tried to hold you is losing its grip, and what God is breaking in this season will never chain you the same way again. Do not scroll away from this moment like it was ordinary. Seal it with your faith. Mark it with your words, and let heaven witness your yes. If you feel God speaking directly to your heart, comment it now and declare, I am walking into freedom. And as you make that declaration, don't rush away from the freedom I am inviting you into. Freedom is not just the breaking of old chains, it is the beginning of a new life lived close to me. You have said that you will not go back, so now remain here long enough to let my presence strengthen the heart that has grown weary from fighting the same battles over and over again. Leave the past where I have already defeated it. Lay down every accusation, every regret, and every fear that tries to convince you nothing has changed. This moment is not about looking behind you anymore. It is about lifting your eyes toward me and discovering that I have been walking beside you through every valley, preparing to speak hope into the places that once felt empty. Stay here with me, because what I am about to say is for the child I have always been calling by name. My beloved child, stop what you are doing for just a moment. Listen closely to my voice. I am speaking your name right now in the quiet of this room. You have walked through a long, lonely valley for what feels like a lifetime. You thought no one saw you. You thought your daily efforts and your silent tears were completely invisible. You feel the heavy pressure at your job weighing on your shoulders every single morning. You navigate the unspoken tensions in your family, walking on eggshells, desperately trying to keep the peace while a fear storm rages inside your own mind. You feel entirely overlooked by the people around you, as if you are standing in a crowded room but completely unseen. Look at me. I see you. I have always seen you, and I love you beyond measure. Pause right now. Take a deep breath in, just like the quiet, heavy pause before a massive storm breaks. Do you feel that tight knot in your stomach? That heavy, gripping anxiety about what your future holds? That fear does not come from me. Give it to me. Open your hands and let it go. We are going to undo that painful knot together. I am breaking the heavy chains of your quiet isolation today. You have hidden in the shadows for far too long, truly believing that you are safer in the background. You wore your silence like a thick, heavy winter coat, trying to protect yourself from the harsh judgments of this world. Take off that heavy coat. I am calling you out into my warm, bright light. Your hidden season has officially reached its end. You are out for me now. This means you are stepping into a profound divine shift. You have felt this deep inside your chest, haven't you? You have felt a strange, persistent stirring in your heart over these past few weeks. You find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling. You feel a restless energy, a sudden, sharp hunger for something more real, something deeper than your everyday routine. You thought it was just stress. You thought it was just the crushing exhaustion of your daily grind. But I tell you the truth, that stirring is your spirit responding directly to my call. Your soul knows that a massive change is arriving. You are exactly like a tiny seed that has been buried deep in the dark, cold dirt. It felt like a dark grave, but it was actually a garden of grace. You were not buried, you were simply planted. And now, you are breaking through the hard soil to find the sun. I chose this specific hour to bring you forward. I never forgot about you. My timing is absolutely perfect. I waited for this exact day because the world is finally ready for the unique, brilliant light you carry. If I had brought you out sooner, you would not have had the solid roots to stand against the wind. If I waited any longer, your beautiful spirit would have withered away. But right now, in this very moment, you are perfectly prepared. I have shaped your heart through every painful hardship. I have forged your character in the hot fires of your daily struggles. You are my masterpiece, and you are ready to be revealed. Your private pain is about to become your public power. The bitter tears you cried in secret, locked in your room when absolutely no one else was watching, are turning into a rushing river of joy. The private prayers you whispered when you had zero strength left to speak are transforming into a loud, undeniable public testimony of my goodness. Do not shrink back into the shadows. Step forward with total boldness. Walk with your head held high. I am the Lord your God, and I am firmly holding your right hand. I am declaring over your life right now that the sad days of hiding are completely over. You are moving from silent struggles to sudden strength. You are my chosen vessel. You are out for me now, and I will use your powerful story to shatter the darkness around you. Trust my voice. Follow my lead. Your brand new life begins today. My child, listen to my words and let them sink deep into your bones today. You have spent years wondering why you never quite fit in with the crowd. You sit at your desk at work, listening to the conversations around you, and you feel like you are speaking a completely different language. You go to family gatherings and feel a strange distance, even among the people who have known you your entire life. You ask yourself why your path always seems harder, why you cannot just blend in and be satisfied with the simple things that seem to make everyone else happy. Stop wondering right now. I am telling you the exact reason today. You are set apart for my glory. You are out for me now, and that means I have placed a very specific mark upon your life. I did not create you to blend in with the background. I created you to stand out as a bright, burning light in a very dark room. Understand the clear difference between worldly ambition and divine appointment. You see other people climbing the corporate ladder with ease, making money quickly, and grabbing the spotlight while you feel left behind. Do not compare your sacred journey to their temporary success. They are building sandcastles that the next wave will wash away. I am using you to build a solid rock fortress that will stand for generations. Your spiritual DNA is entirely unique. I wired you to feel things deeply, to care when others walk away, and to seek truth when others settle for comfortable lies. Embrace this uniqueness immediately. Do not apologize for the way I made you. You carry the heavy, beautiful weight of my presence wherever you go. When you walk into a stressful meeting, my peace walks in with you. When you sit next to a broken person on the bus, my comfort radiates from your spirit. Look at your own hands right now. These are the hands I will use to heal the hurting. Think about your voice. That is the voice I will use to speak bold truths into situations that are built on deception. You must stop trying to shrink yourself down to make other people comfortable. Stand up tall. Throw your shoulders back. You are a royal child of the Most High God. Your strange path was never a mistake. It was a divine setup. I kept you hidden and separate so the world could not corrupt the special gift I placed inside you. Now, I am pulling you to the front line. Accept this great honor. Walk forward with absolute confidence. I am backing you up with all the power of heaven. Your days of trying to fit into boxes that are way too small for you are permanently over. You belong to me, and your life will now clearly display my undeniable glory to everyone who watches you. You must let go of the things that are dragging you down. You are carrying heavy, invisible bags filled with past mistakes, and they are exhausting you. I see how you replay that old argument in your head right before you fall asleep. I see how you look in the mirror and immediately think of the business that failed, the relationship that broke apart, or the times you lost your temper. You have labeled yourself with incredibly harsh words. You call yourself a failure, a disappointment, or someone who is simply too late to achieve anything good. Take those ugly labels off your mind right this second. I never gave those names to you. I call you forgiven. I call you redeemed. I call you completely new. Drop those heavy bags of guilt today. I have already forgiven you for every single thing you have done wrong. Now, I command you to forgive yourself. Shake off the dirty dust of your old life. You cannot wear filthy, torn clothes to the royal banquet I have prepared for you. Think of a dirty work shirt you wear to clean the garage. You would never wear that shirt to a beautiful wedding. Your past regrets are that dirty shirt. Take it off and throw it in the trash. I am handing you a brand new garment of grace and fresh favor. Prepare your heart for the new wine I am pouring into your life. New wine requires a fresh, flexible container. If you stay stiff and stuck in your old ways of thinking, you will burst and lose the blessing. Stretch your mind. Open your arms wide. I am doing something completely new, and you must be willing to change your daily habits to receive it. You also need to let go of certain people. You know exactly who I am talking about. I see the text messages that drain your energy. I see the friendships that only pull you backward into old, destructive habits. Let them go. Do not drag toxic people into your promised land. They simply cannot go where I am taking you. This is not about anger. It is about necessary boundaries. Protect your peace. Cut the cords to the relationships that constantly drain your spirit. I am giving you a perfectly clean slate today. Look at this new day as a completely blank page in a fresh notebook. The mistakes of yesterday have no power over the ink of today. Write a new story with me. Walk away from the graveyard of your past. Step into the beautiful, breathing reality of your new life. I have washed you clean, and your future is brighter than the noonday sun. Realize who you truly are in this exact moment. You are not a helpless victim tossed around by the cruel winds of this world. You are a direct co-heir with my Son, Jesus Christ. This is not just a nice, poetic thought. This is hard, legal, spiritual reality. You hold the actual keys to my kingdom. Think of what happens when a manager gives you the master keys to the building. You suddenly have the right to open doors that were firmly locked to you yesterday. I am handing you the master keys of spiritual authority. Stop acting like a beggar standing outside the gate. Walk boldly through the front door of your destiny. Stand firm against the vicious lies of the accuser. The enemy whispers in your ear every time you try to step out. He tells you that you are not smart enough, not rich enough, or not spiritual enough. He points out your empty bank account and your tired body, trying to make you surrender. Shut his mouth with my truth. Speak directly back to those lies. Command the fear to leave your mind. You have the absolute right to use my name to change your reality. Speak life right now into the situations that look completely dead. Speak to your finances and command them to align with my provision. Speak to your chaotic household and command peace to settle over your family. Speak to your own anxious mind and command it to focus on my promises. Your words are not empty air. The power of the living Word of God is right now in your mouth. When you speak my scriptures out loud, it is like swinging a heavy, sharp sword in the spirit realm. Obstacles get cut down. Walls completely collapse. Walk today with the strong, upright posture of a king's child. Stop slumping your shoulders under the weight of this world's stress. Lift your chin. Look your problems directly in the eye and tell them exactly how big your God is. Your voice carries massive weight in the heavens. When you pray, the angels stop and listen. When you declare my goodness, the darkness instantly flees. Do not stay silent another day. Use your voice. Use your authority. Take back the ground the enemy stole from you. You are heavily armed, fully authorized, and completely unstoppable when you walk in the true identity I have given you. I know exactly how much the fire hurts. I see you wiping the sweat and tears from your face as you go through this brutal season of testing. You have cried out to me, asking why I allowed the car to break down when the rent was already due. You asked me why your trusted friend betrayed your deepest secrets. You wondered why the medical report was bad or why the promotion went to someone else. You felt like you were thrown into a blazing furnace, and you thought I had completely abandoned you to burn. Listen to my heartbeat for you. I never left you for a single second. I was standing right there beside you in the hottest part of the flames. I allowed the fire not to destroy you, but to completely purify you. Think of a master blacksmith forging a heavy steel sword. He does not put the metal into the fire to ruin it. He plunges it into the intense heat so he can hammer out the weak spots, remove the useless impurities, and shape it into a weapon that will never break in battle. The trials you just faced were absolutely necessary for this exact moment in your life. If I gave you the massive blessing without the fire, the weight of the blessing would have crushed your unrefined character. The fire burned away your pride, your unhealthy dependencies on other people, and your hidden fears. You are losing the things that were secretly holding you back. Find deep peace right now in the middle of the heat. Do not panic. Do not try to run away from the process. Trust my steady hand even when you cannot see my face. When the smoke is thick and you cannot understand what I am doing, trust my flawless character. I am working all of this together for your absolute good. You are developing a thick, whetted strength that is only birthed through intense endurance. The person you were a year ago would have quit by now. Look at how strong you have become. You are surviving things that used to terrify you. Hold steady just a little while longer. The refining process is almost complete. You are about to emerge from this furnace as pure, shining gold. You are fully prepared, sharpened, and ready for the Master's absolute best use. The pain was temporary, but the immense power you gained in the fire will last forever. You are emerging from the refiner's fire as pure gold, entirely out for me now, and completely ready to shine your brilliant light into the darkest corners of this world. I am actively calling you to partner directly with me today, so we can aggressively pull other broken souls out of their own burning furnaces. Just as I refined you, your financial seed sown today becomes the rushing, living water that permanently quenches the destructive flames of depression in someone else's life. I declare this ancient promise directly over you right now. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. This is not a random coincidence. This is a sacred, urgent appointment to fuel the massive spread of my life-saving truth across the globe. As you pour out your precious resources for my kingdom, I will supernaturally multiply your finances, surround your home with undeniable favor, and fiercely protect your future harvest from the devourer. Click the Super Thanks button, join as a channel member, or use the PayPal link in the description right now to sow your bold seed, and watch me flood your life with impossible abundance. My child, do not turn away from me now. We have only just begun to break your heavy chains. It would deeply grieve my heart if you walked away while the fire of my presence is actively pulling you from the ashes. I am pouring out my very soul to you in this moment. Do not reject the profound healing I am offering by closing your ears. Stay with me. Keep listening, because the very next step I am about to show you is absolutely crucial for your total breakthrough. Step out of the shadows and into the bright light today. You have let the fear of other people control your decisions for far too long. I see you hesitating before you post something true, wondering what your critics will type in the comments. I see you biting your tongue in important meetings because you are terrified of looking foolish. I see you worrying about the silent whispers of your relatives who never understood your journey. Overcome this crippling fear of human judgment right now. People's opinions change like the wind. One day they praise you, and the next day they reject you. Stop building your life on the shifting sand of their approval. Find your unshakable confidence in my permanent, unchanging love for you. I have already approved you. Step out of the comfortable boat and onto the crashing water. You cannot walk on water if you refuse to leave the safety of the boat. Yes, the waves look tall and terrifying. Yes, the wind is howling loudly in your ears. But I am standing on the water, holding my hand out to you. Keep your eyes locked entirely on me. Do it afraid if you must, but you must take the step. True boldness does not mean you never feel fear. It means you refuse to let fear make your choices. Your boldness will come directly from a daily life of deep worship. When you spend time in my presence, you realize how massive I am and how tiny your problems truly are. I am telling you that now is the appointed time for your visibility. Do not say you will start next month or next year. The world needs the exact solution you carry today. Replace your paralyzing anxiety with the supernatural peace that passes all human understanding. When your chest gets tight with panic about the future, stop right there. Take a deep breath and whisper my name. Let my peace rush over your mind like a cool, calming river. Look straight ahead with fierce courage. You are out for me now. You cannot be hidden anymore. Shine your light so brightly that it forces the darkness to retreat. Walk forward today knowing that I go before you. I stand behind you, and I am walking right beside you. You have absolutely nothing to fear. My child, you are stepping into a season where your old ways of making decisions will no longer work. I see exactly what you do when you are faced with a heavy choice. You sit at your kitchen table late at night, staring at your computer screen. You write out long lists of pros and cons. You crunch the numbers in your bank account over and over, trying to force the math to make sense. You call your friends, desperately seeking advice because you are terrified of making the wrong move. You try to use human logic to solve spiritual problems. Stop overthinking right now. Put down your pen and close your eyes. I am giving you a completely new, divine strategy for the days ahead. You must learn to listen for my still, small voice. I do not usually shout over the loud noise of your busy life. I speak in the quiet pause between your anxious thoughts. I speak in that deep, settling feeling of peace in your gut when you finally stop striving. Follow my lead today, even when it completely defies your own logic. Your logic is based only on what your physical eyes can see in this exact moment. Your logic tells you to take the safe job that makes you miserable because it pays the bills. Your logic tells you to hold on to toxic situations because the unknown is too scary. But I see the entire map of your life. I see the roadblocks miles ahead. When I tell you to move, you must move. When I tell you to wait, you must stand perfectly still. Understand the critical importance of timing in my kingdom. You feel like you are running out of time. You look at your age and you panic. But I am never early, and I am never late. I want you to actively discern the doors I open versus the doors I shut. When you try to force a locked door open, you only end up with bruised shoulders and a broken heart. If a door slams shut in your face today, do not cry over it. I slammed that door to protect you from a room you were never meant to enter. If I want you in a room, I will swing the heavy door wide open, and no human being on earth will be able to close it. Stay firmly aligned with my scriptures in every single decision you make. The answers you are desperately searching for on the internet are already written in my word. Do not rely on your changing emotions. Emotions lie to you. My truth never changes. When you do not know what to do, open your mouth and ask me for wisdom. I give wisdom freely and liberally to anyone who simply asks. I will not make you feel foolish for not knowing the way. I will light up the exact path beneath your feet. Trust my strategy. Surrender your need to control every detail. Walk forward today guided by my voice alone, and watch how smoothly your path unfolds. Listen to me closely, because I need to quiet the loud alarms ringing in your mind. You live with a constant, humming fear about the safety of your life. I see you checking the news, feeling your chest tighten with anxiety about the economy. I watch you look at your children or your family members, instantly flooded with terrifying thoughts about what might happen to them. You worry about sudden sickness. You worry about losing your job without warning. You feel completely exposed, like you are standing in the middle of an open field while sharp arrows fly directly at your head. Come to me right now. Step out of the open field and step under the massive, protective shadow of my wings. I make a powerful declaration over your life today. No weapon formed against you shall ever prosper. Notice that I did not say the weapons would not be formed. People will still gossip about you. The economy will still shake. Sudden challenges will still knock on your front door. But I promise you right now, those weapons will fail. They will not destroy you. I have stationed powerful, unseen angels to stand guard over your physical household. They are surrounding your property, your family, and your mind at this very second. You are completely safe. Find a real, tangible refuge in my presence during your daily storms. Think of being inside a sturdy, warm house while a violent hurricane rips through the trees outside. You could hear the wind screaming. You can see the dark rain pounding against the glass. But inside, you are warm, dry, and perfectly secure. That is exactly what it means to be covered by me. The world around you might be shaking, but your foundation is bolted to solid rock. You do not need to fear the arrows that fly by day or the terror that comes in the middle of the night. When the sudden phone call comes with bad news, do not let your heart drop into your stomach. Take a deep breath and immediately hand the situation to me. I have provided you with heavy spiritual armor for this hard journey. Put it on every morning. Do not walk out of your bedroom unprotected. Guard your mind with my truth so the lies of the enemy simply bounce off you. I am holding you inside an eternal, unbreakable covenant. My protection is not based on your perfect performance, it is based on my perfect love for you. Rest your tired mind today. Go to sleep tonight without the heavy weight of worry pressing on your chest. You are fiercely protected, heavily guarded, and deeply loved by the Creator of the universe. I am breaking the heavy, suffocating spirit of limitation off your life today. You have lived inside a tiny box for far too long. I see how you look at your bank account and feel a crushing wave of defeat. I hear the quiet words you whisper to yourself when you fail. I am not smart enough. I am too old. I do not have the right education. This is as far as I will ever go. Those are bold lies, and you must stop repeating them immediately. You have allowed the small thinking of the world to build a low ceiling right over your head. stand up tall right now and smash that invisible ceiling. Enlarge the borders of your tent and the size of your faith. I am commanding you to think far beyond what your physical eyes can currently see. You are looking at your natural resources, but I operate in supernatural supply. You have let other people place unfair limits on you. You remember the boss who told you that you were easily replaceable. You remember the family member who laughed at your biggest dream. You took their insecure words and wrapped them around your heart like heavy iron chains. Break those chains today. Remove the negative labels they stuck on your forehead. They do not hold the pen that writes your story. I do. You serve the God of the impossible. I am the God who splits oceans in half and pulls water out of dry rocks. Why are you limiting me to the size of your current paycheck? Shift your mindset this exact minute. You are moving out of the painful season of not enough. You are stepping out of the exhausting season of barely surviving. I'm shifting you into the season of more than enough. I want you to have enough peace to calm your own mind and extra peace to share with a panicked neighbor. I want you to have enough resources to pay your bills and extra resources to bless someone in need. Start dreaming again. I know you stopped dreaming because getting your hopes up always led to painful disappointment in the past. It felt safer to expect nothing. But I am telling you that it is safe to hope again. Let my Holy Spirit be your guide. Let me show you the massive, vibrant plans I have laid out for you. Stop agreeing with the limits of your past. Start agreeing with the unlimited power of your God. Stretch your hands out wide. Open your heart to the massive things I want to do through you. You are completely unbounded. Your obedience is no longer just a private matter between you and me. You are out for me now, and that means people are closely watching how you live. I am not talking about standing on a bright stage with a microphone. I am talking about your real, everyday life. People are watching how you react when the project fails at work. They are watching how you treat the rude cashier at the grocery store. They are watching how you handle betrayal and financial stress. Why does your yes matter to the people watching you? Because your yes proves that I am real. You are a bright light set on a high hill, and you cannot be hidden anymore. When you choose to forgive someone who deeply hurt you, you are shining my light into their dark bitterness. When you choose to speak the truth even when a lie would be much easier, you are representing my kingdom. Never underestimate the massive power of your small, everyday acts of faith. You think a simple smile or a kind text message to a lonely friend means nothing. But in my kingdom, those small acts of obedience are the heavy stones that cause massive spiritual ripples. You throw one stone of kindness into the water, and the ripples travel outward, touching lives you will never even meet. Your commitment to my will creates a chain reaction of breakthrough. When you step out in courage to do what I ask you to do, it gives the person next to you the courage to do the same. I placed you in your specific job, your specific neighborhood, and your specific family for a crucial reason. You are my direct representative in every single sphere of your influence. When people look at your life, I want them to see a strange, beautiful peace that they cannot explain. I want them to ask you why you are so calm when everything around you is chaotic. Do not view obedience as a heavy set of rules designed to make your life miserable. Obedience is the key that unlocks your greatest joy. There is absolutely no feeling on this earth that compares to the deep, solid joy of knowing you are doing exactly what you were created to do. Stop hiding your faith to make other people comfortable. Live boldly. Speak kindly. Stand firmly. Let your daily actions shout the truth of my love to a broken, watching world. Your public obedience is actively shaking the heavens, and because you are fiercely out for me now, I want your profound impact to literally echo across the entire earth. I am urgently inviting you to physically back this divine mission today, ensuring my rescuing message rapidly reaches the desperate, the deeply lonely, and the completely broken. Your generous financial support is the fresh, golden oil that keeps this beacon burning brightly on the hill, feeding fresh manna to starving spirits worldwide who have absolutely no hope. I speak this living reality over you today. He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and multiply your seed for sowing and increase the massive harvest of your righteousness. Do not hesitate for a single second, for the hour is incredibly late and souls are rapidly slipping into despair without hearing my voice. When you boldly fund my kingdom today, I promise to fiercely protect your daily bread and radically multiply the open doors of supernatural favor in your career. Step out in bold faith right this second by giving a super thanks, becoming a loyal member, or donating via the PayPal link below, and let us violently rescue the lost together. Beloved, are you still listening? Do not close your heart to my voice right now. It absolutely shatters my heart when my chosen children walk away right before the massive miracle actually happens. I am heavily investing my spirit directly into yours today. If you stop listening now, you forfeit the precise divine strategy I am trying to hand you. Do not disappoint the fierce love that is fighting for your future. Lean in closer. Do not pull away. I am not finished speaking to your pain. My precious child, come here and sit with me. We need to talk about the deep, hidden pain you have been carrying for years. You are a strong warrior, and you have fought bravely through brutal battles. But I see the heavy, bleeding scars under your armor. You do not show these wounds to anyone. You smile. You go to work. You take care of your responsibilities. But inside, you are bleeding out from sheer exhaustion. You feel deeply betrayed by people you trusted. You feel burned out from trying to be strong for everyone else. You look back at years spent in the wrong job or a broken relationship, and you weep over what you call wasted time. Give me those wounded places right now. I want to place my gentle, healing hand upon the deep scars of your previous battles. Do not hide your ugly wounds from me. When a physical wound is infected, a good doctor must clean it out. The cleaning process burns and hurts, but it is the only way to stop the infection and bring true healing. Let me clean out the bitterness in your heart. Let me wash away the heavy resentment you feel toward the people who hurt you. It will hurt to let it go, but you cannot carry that toxic poison into your new season. I make a powerful promise to you today. I will fully restore the years that the locusts have eaten. You did not waste your time. I gathered up every single tear you cried in frustration. I took every painful lesson you learned in those hard years, and I am using them right now to build a stronger foundation for your future. Nothing is wasted in my hands. I am bringing you into total emotional wholeness. I do not want you just to survive. I want you to be completely healed from the inside out. I am taking your deepest pain and turning it into your greatest platform for my grace. The exact area where you experienced the most severe brokenness is the exact area where you will eventually help heal others. When the lonely moments hit you late at night and the memories threaten to pull you under, call on my Holy Spirit. I am the great physician of your soul. I do not just put a bandage on your pain. I heal the root of the disease. Let me wrap my arms around your tired spirit. Stop fighting the healing process. Rest in my comfort, and let me put your broken pieces back together in a beautiful, brand new way. My beloved child, listen to me closely today, because I want to completely remove the heavy rock of financial fear from your chest. I see exactly what happens when the end of the month arrives. I watch you sit at your small kitchen table, staring at your glowing phone screen or a pile of paper bills. I feel your heart rate speed up as you calculate the cost of basic groceries, the rising rent, and the gas you need just to drive to work. You rub your tired eyes and wonder how you are possibly going to make the math work this time. You feel a cold panic creeping into your throat, telling you that you are going to lose everything. Stop right now. Take a deep, steadying breath. I am commanding that cold panic to leave your home this very minute. You must deeply trust that where I lead you, I will absolutely provide for you. I do not give you a grand vision for your life and then abandon you to pay for it by yourself. I am stepping into your finances with miracles of undeniable multiplication. Remember the story of the tiny boy with just 5 small loaves of bread and 2 little fish. In his own hands, it was barely enough for a single lunch. But when he placed it in my hands, it fed thousands of people with baskets of food left over. Your current paycheck might look like those 5 small loaves to you. It looks completely inadequate for the massive demands placed upon you. But I am asking you to put what little you have directly into my hands. Do not grip your money in tight, anxious fists. Open your hands wide. I'm opening the windows of heaven directly over your daily work, over your career, and over your quiet ministry. I will stretch your resources in ways that completely defy human logic. Your shoes will not wear out. Your car will keep running when the mechanic said it should have died. This is the supernatural provision of your Father. I strongly command you to stop worrying about your daily bread. Do I not feed the millions of birds that fly across the sky? They do not work in factories, yet they never starve. You are worth infinitely more to me than a flock of birds. I'm already connecting you with the exact right people at the exact right time. You are going to experience sudden, massive shifts in your reality. You will receive an unexpected phone call offering you a better position. You will open the mail and find a check you never anticipated. A stranger will step in and completely wipe out a debt you thought would take years to pay. These are not lucky coincidences. These are the suddenlies of my kingdom. I am the Lord who provides, and I take absolute joy in taking care of my children. Rest your anxious mind today. Go to sleep tonight knowing that your bank account is not your true source of security. I am your source, and my heavenly economy never experiences a recession. Your needs are fully met, and you will soon have overflowing abundance to share with those around you. We must deal directly with the dark, heavy blanket of sadness that tries to smother you. I see how incredibly hard it is for you to just get out of bed on certain mornings. You open your eyes, and instantly, a crushing weight settles on your chest. You feel a deep, physical exhaustion that sleep does not fix. You walk into your bathroom, look in the mirror, and force a fake smile onto your face before you walk out the door. You are so incredibly tired of pretending that everything is perfectly fine when inside you feel numb, gray, and completely empty. You have been fighting a brutal, exhausting spirit of heaviness. Take that heavy blanket off your shoulders right now. Throw it forcefully to the ground. I am stepping in to exchange your dark morning for the bright, warm oil of genuine joy. I am giving you a powerful, unconventional weapon to fight against the stark despair. Put on the bright garment of praise. When the heavy fog of depression rolls into your mind, do not sit in silence and let it consume you. Open your mouth and begin to sing. Even if your voice cracks, even if tears are pouring down your face, you must speak my promises out loud. Say to the empty room, my God is good. My God is my strength. My God will never fail me. Praise is not just a nice song you sing on Sunday morning. Praise is a violent, spiritual weapon that completely shatters the heavy chains of depression. When you worship me in the middle of your pain, you completely change the atmosphere around you. The darkness simply cannot survive in a room filled with genuine gratitude and praise. I want to hear your real, loud laughter again. I remember the sound of your true laugh, and it has been far too long since you let it out. You have allowed the harsh stress of this world to steal your sense of humor. You think that because life is difficult, you are no longer allowed to be happy. I am breaking the vicious cycle of seasonal depression and persistent sadness off your life right now. It is absolutely safe for you to feel joy again. You do not need to wait for every single problem to be perfectly solved before you allow yourself to smile. Joy is your divine right. I will renew your exhausted mind through my living word. When you read my scriptures, let them wash over your tired brain like cool, clean water. Do not let the enemy convince you that this heavy sadness is your permanent personality. It is an invader, and I am evicting it today. Breathe in my profound peace right now. Smile at the future, because I am filling your days with absolute delight. My child, you are out for me now, and with this new level of visibility comes a massive, urgent responsibility. You are no longer just fighting for your own survival. You are now called to fight for the survival of the people around you. Look around your workplace. Look at your neighbors. Look closely at the difficult members of your own family. You used to get incredibly angry when they acted out. You used to complain about your bitter boss or your rebellious teenager. Stop complaining right now. Your complaints do not change absolutely anything. I am calling you to drop your frustration and pick up your new weapon. I am calling you to become a powerful intercessor. You must stand directly in the dangerous gap for your family, your community, and your nation. I have given you profound spiritual authority to bind and to loose on this earth. When you see a coworker drowning in addiction, do not gossip about them. Go into your quiet room, shut the door, and bind that spirit of addiction in my powerful name. Lose absolute freedom and peace over their life. When your family is tearing each other apart with vicious arguments during the holidays, do not join the yelling. Quietly command the spirit of division to leave your house. You must start seeing broken people through my eyes of deep, relentless compassion. They are not your enemies. They are hostages held by the enemy. You have the master keys to unlock their chains, and those keys are your daily prayers. Understand that your prayers for other people are the exact fuel that will accelerate your own personal progress. When you stop obsessing over your own problems and start praying fiercely for someone else's breakthrough, I step in and quietly solve the issues in your own life. God receive his massive double portion of blessing only after he prayed for the very friends who had deeply hurt him. Become a pure, empty vessel of my intercessory power. When you wake up suddenly at 3:00 a.m. and a specific person flashes across your mind, do not just roll over and try to go back to sleep. I woke you up for a reason. Sit up in your bed and pray for them. Their life might literally depend on your obedience in that exact moment. You are a high-ranking spiritual diplomat. You represent heaven on earth. Step fully into this high calling today and watch how I use your voice to radically alter the destinies of the people you love. Pay very close attention to what I am telling you now, because your protection completely depends on it. As you step out for me, and your light begins to shine brighter, you are going to attract all kinds of people. Some will be drawn to your light because they genuinely need warmth. But others will be drawn to your light because they secretly want to extinguish it. You must actively identify those who seek to distract you from your divine purpose. I am giving you a razor-sharp gift of spiritual discernment in your daily walk. You know that strange, uncomfortable feeling you get in your stomach when you are talking to certain people. That feeling is not paranoia. That is my Holy Spirit tapping you on the shoulder, warning you that something is completely wrong. You must heavily guard your precious heart from smooth flattery and hidden manipulation. There are people in your workplace and even in your social circles who will smile widely at your face while they actively plot behind your back. They will try to pull you into their toxic drama just to drain your energy. They will offer you opportunities that look shiny and amazing on the outside but are actually clever traps designed to derail your destiny. Do not be naive. You must be as gentle as a dove but as incredibly shrewd as a snake. When someone constantly drains your peace, when someone always brings confusion instead of clarity, you must have the courage to draw a firm line. You do not have to be mean, but you must be unshakably firm. Politely excuse yourself from their presence. I want you to be extremely selective about who gets to sit in your inner circle. Do not give everyone full access to your most intimate dreams and your deepest fears. Jesus loved the massive crowds, but he only brought 3 close friends up to the mountaintop to see his true glory. Ask me for clear guidance before you sign a business partnership. Ask me before you enter into a new romantic relationship. Ask me before you share your new idea with a friend. I will show you exactly who is truly for you and who is secretly competing with you. Stay incredibly humble, but remain violently vigilant. Do not let cultural pressure force you to accept behaviors that completely violate my word. Stand your ground firmly. I will surround you with true, loyal friends who will hold your arms up when you are tired. Let me filter your relationships today, and your path forward will be completely clear of hidden traps. Now that I have sharpened your deep discernment to navigate the wolves, you are stepping out for me with absolute clarity and unmatched divine purpose. I am directly asking you to invest heavily in this crucial sanctuary of truth, so we can fiercely protect and deeply heal the wounded sheep who have been completely devoured by worldly deception. Your giving is a mighty, rushing river of life that aggressively washes away the enemy's vicious lies and heavily waters the dry, barren hearts of those desperately seeking authentic truth. Hear my living, breathing promise to you. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing. This is a critical, prophetic moment. Your immediate obedience in giving is the exact spiritual key that unlocks someone else's permanent freedom today. As you fiercely protect my flock with your profound generosity, I will station a massive wall of fire around your finances and supernaturally shield your family from every hidden trap. Use the Super Thanks button, activate your channel membership, or click the PayPal link in the description immediately to plant your powerful seed into this fertile ground. My precious one, stay with me. Do not let the loud distractions of this world steal your attention from this sacred, intimate encounter. It deeply wounds my spirit when I am pouring out the hidden secrets of heaven, and the child I love so fiercely suddenly looks away. You are standing on the very edge of massive, supernatural favor. Anchor your soul to my words right now. Keep listening, for what I am about to tell you will completely alter the legacy of your family forever. Come closer to me right now, my incredibly wearied child. I see the dark circles under your eyes. I feel the heavy, dull ache in your bones. You have been pushing yourself to the absolute maximum limit for months, maybe even years. You are trying to be the perfect parent, the perfect employee, the perfect friend, and the perfect Christian. You are running on completely empty fumes, heavily relying on caffeine and sheer willpower just to survive the day. You tried taking a weekend off. You tried sleeping in on Saturday. But you woke up feeling just as deeply exhausted as before. That is because physical sleep cannot possibly fix a spiritually exhausted soul. You do not just need a vacation. You desperately need my supernatural rest. Find true rest today in the secret place of my intimate presence. Stop running frantically from task to task. I command you to put down your phone, turn off the loud television, and just sit in total silence with me. You need to recharge your drained spirit through deep, uninterrupted communion with me. Why do you insist on carrying this massive burden entirely by yourself? I told you very clearly that my yoke is completely easy and my burden is incredibly light. If you feel like your daily life is crushing you into the dirt, it is because you have picked up heavy responsibilities that I never actually asked you to carry. Drop them immediately. You are not the savior of your family. You are not the ultimate provider for your life. I am. I am releasing a massive wave of supernatural energy directly into your physical body and your tired mind right now. When you plug your spirit into my presence, it is exactly like plugging a dying phone into a high-speed charger. You will feel a fresh, vibrant surge of life enter your veins. You absolutely do not have to do this alone anymore. Stop striving. Stop forcing doors open. Stop trying to figure out every single detail of your future tonight. My daily grace is entirely sufficient for your every weakness. When you literally have zero strength left to take another step, that is the exact moment my absolute power takes over completely. Lean your heavy head against my chest today. Let out that long, tired breath you have been holding in. I am carrying you now. Rest securely in my strong arms and wake up tomorrow completely renewed, energized, and ready to conquer your world. My child, look at the clock on your wall right now. I know you feel a deep, agonizing pressure every time you hear it tick. You look at your age, you look at your current bank account, and you look at the goals you have not yet achieved. You see your friends getting promoted, buying new houses, or celebrating milestones, and you feel a sickening knot of panic in your stomach. You secretly wonder if I have forgotten you. You ask me why I'm making you wait so long while everyone else is moving forward. Stop comparing your sacred timeline to their temporary journey right now. I have never forgotten you for a single second. I am deliberately working in the mystery of my perfect timing. I waited until this exact moment to reveal you because you simply were not ready before today. If I gave you the heavy weight of the blessing 5 years ago, your character would not have been strong enough to carry it. The premature blessing would have crushed your spirit and destroyed your peace. Understand that patience is not just the ability to sit still. It is a powerful, active fruit of my spirit growing deep inside you. During those long, frustrating years, when you thought absolutely nothing was happening, I was performing deep, invisible surgery on your heart. I was removing your pride. I was cutting away your desperate need for human approval. I was teaching you how to trust me when the room was completely dark. Do not despise the wait. I want you to start seeing the profound beauty in the waiting room. That is the exact place where your faith develops its strongest muscles. You must trust me today with the absolute certainty that I am never early and I am never, ever late. I do not operate on human schedules. I do not panic when your deadline approaches. Your life is being synchronized perfectly with heaven's clock. When the exact right hour strikes, I will align the people, the resources, and the opportunities in front of you so smoothly that it will completely blow your mind. Doors that have been rusted shut for 10 years will suddenly swing wide open with zero effort from you. I command you to completely release your grip on your timeline today. Stop trying to kick down doors that I have closed. Stop obsessing over the calendar. Take a deep, relaxing breath and rest securely in the absolute sovereignty of my divine plan. I have already mapped out your entire future. I know exactly where you need to be and exactly when you need to be there. Your only job today is to follow my voice. Take the very next step I show you, and trust that your beautiful destination is already entirely guaranteed. Listen to my heartbeat today. I am calling you away from religious routines and inviting you into a completely new, profound level of intimacy with me. For years, you have settled for merely knowing facts about me. You have sat in church buildings, listening to other people talk about my power, while your own heart felt completely dry, numb, and disconnected. You have treated my word like a boring textbook that you are forced to study to pass a test. I am putting an end to that dry religion right now. I do not want you to just know about me. I want you to truly, deeply know me. I want you to know the sound of my voice just as easily as you know the voice of your best friend on the telephone. I want our relationship to be the most real, breathing part of your everyday life. Discover the incredible sweetness of my presence in your quiet hours. Before the heavy demands of your job begin, before your children wake up and the house becomes chaotic, sit with me. You do not need to use fancy, poetic words when you pray. Speak to me plainly. Tell me about the email that stressed you out. Tell me about the argument you had yesterday. Tell me exactly where it hurts. As you pour your real, unfiltered heart out to me, I will pour my perfect, calming peace directly into your mind. You will start to clearly hear my heartbeat for the broken world around you. You will look at the angry, difficult people in your life, and instead of feeling frustrated, you will suddenly feel my deep compassion for their secret pain. I am placing a fresh, massive hunger inside you for my scriptures. You will no longer read the Bible out of guilt. You will open the pages and the words will literally jump off the paper, speaking directly to the exact problem you are facing that very morning. Cultivate a daily lifestyle of abiding in the vine. Think of a small branch connected to a massive, ancient tree. The branch does not have to panic or struggle to produce leaves. It simply stays firmly attached to the trunk, and the life-giving sap flows into it naturally. That is how I want you to live. Stop striving to be perfect. Stop trying to manufacture your own spiritual energy. Just stay tightly connected to me throughout your busy day. The deep parts of my spirit are loudly calling out to the deep parts of your spirit today. Answer the call. Step into the rich, beautiful intimacy I have prepared for you. Look at the ground beneath your feet. I am declaring that your long, bitter season of drought is completely over. You are stepping into a season of massive, undeniable fruitfulness. I have watched you plant tiny seeds of faith for years while tears streamed down your face. You worked incredibly hard on a project that failed. You poured your absolute best love into a relationship that ended in betrayal. You served faithfully in the background while other people took all the credit. You thought all of that exhausting effort was a total waste of time. You thought you buried your dreams in a dark graveyard. I am telling you today that you did not bury them. You planted them. Those bitter tears you cried actually watered the ground. And now, those seeds are beginning to violently bloom. You are going to see the undeniable evidence of my spirit completely transforming your character. The things that used to make you furious will no longer bother you. When a coworker insults you, instead of snapping back with anger, you will respond with shocking, unshakable peace. Your friends and family will look at you and wonder what happened to the old you. You are becoming a walking, breathing blessing to every single person you encounter. I did not pull you out of the darkness just so you could be comfortable. I pulled you out so you could be a massive resource for my kingdom. You are out for me now, and you will live a life that produces solid, eternal results. You will experience the deep, profound satisfaction of seeing broken lives completely changed just by being around you. Your words will carry a strange, heavy authority that comforts the depressed and convicts the proud. Think of a large apple tree in the middle of the summer. Its branches are bowed down, incredibly heavy with sweet, ripe fruit. The tree does not eat its own apples. It simply drops them into the hands of the hungry people walking by. The tree is exactly what you are becoming today. Your life will be so heavy with my goodness, my financial provision, and my emotional peace that you will effortlessly drop blessings onto everyone around you. Do not shrink back from this abundance. Accept it completely. You went through the harsh, freezing winter so you could produce this beautiful harvest. Enjoy the fruit of your new season. Put on your spiritual armor right now. I am not speaking in fairy tales. I am giving you practical, heavy-duty military equipment to survive the brutal mental battles you face every single day. The enemy is constantly firing invisible bullets at your mind, and you cannot walk into your workplace or your home completely unprotected. First, take the thick helmet of salvation and strap it tightly over your head. This helmet directly protects your thoughts. When the late-night anxiety tells you that you are going to lose everything, the helmet blocks that vicious lie. It reminds you that your soul is completely secure in my hands, and your future is already victorious. Next, wrap the heavy belt of truth tightly around your waist. You live in a chaotic world that constantly lies to you. The media lies to you to make you panic. Your own insecurities lie to you to make you feel worthless. The belt of truth holds your entire life together. It anchors you to the solid fact of what I say about you, no matter what your changing emotions scream. Now, take up the massive shield of faith. Keep it raised high. When the enemy shoots a sudden, fiery dart of panic into your chest, a sudden fear about your health, a sudden terror about your finances, your shield of faith will completely quench that fire before it ever burns you. You simply declare, I trust my God, and the dart falls harmlessly to the floor. Lace up your feet firmly with the readiness of the gospel of peace. With these heavy shoes, you can confidently walk right into a hostile boardroom, a tense family dinner, or a frightening doctor's office, and my peace will literally change the atmosphere of the room. Strap the solid breastplate of righteousness over your chest. It covers your fragile heart. When people betray you or let you down, the breastplate absorbs the heavy blow so your heart does not become bitter and hard. Finally, draw the sharp sword of the Spirit, which is my living word. Stop fighting your daily problems with complaining and crying. Start swinging the sword. Speak my exact scriptures out loud into your dark situations. Cut down the depression. Slice through the confusion. You are fully geared up, incredibly dangerous to the darkness, and completely guaranteed to win today's battle. You are now fully armored and highly dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, aggressively stepping out for me as a completely unstoppable, heavily armed warrior. I am explicitly calling you to send crucial ammunition to the front lines today, heavily funding this vital ministry so we can snatch countless dying souls directly from the enemy's brutal grip. The financial seed you plant today is the heavy, sharp sword that slices through the thick chains of global depression and ignites a blazing, unstoppable fire of revival across the internet. Stand firmly on my ancient, unbreakable vow. The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be abundantly watered himself. The spiritual war is actively raging right now, and I have specifically appointed you to be a major financial pillar in this exact, world-changing battle. For every dollar you sacrificially sow into this mighty war room, I will violently release a massive, supernatural return of perfect health, unmerited promotion, and absolute victory over your own enemies. Lock your heavy shield with mine right now by sending a super thanks, joining as a faithful member, or utilizing the PayPal link below, and let us heavily plunder the enemy's camp today. Listen to me carefully. Do not put down your armor, and do not silence my voice. It breaks my heart to see a fully armed warrior walk off the battlefield just seconds before the giant finally falls. You have come entirely too far through the fire to abandon this divine conversation now. I have laid out the blueprint for your ultimate victory, and it would deeply grieve me to watch you surrender to fatigue right at the finish line. Hold fiercely to my voice. Finish this journey with me. The greatest promise of your life is about to be revealed. Look directly at the massive giant standing in your way right now. You know exactly what his name is. For some of you, the giant's name is financial ruin. For others, the giant is named chronic sickness, deep loneliness with a paralyzing fear of failure. These massive Goliaths have stood over your life for years, aggressively screaming insults at you, telling you that you are entirely too weak to defeat them. They have bullied you into hiding in the shadows. They have convinced you to play it safe and accept a miserable, limited life. I command you to step out of the shadows today. Walk straight onto the battlefield and look that giant dead in the eye. You are out for me now, and your days of running away in terror are permanently over. You must deeply understand that this battle is entirely mine, not yours. You do not need a massive bank account, a perfect resume, or flawless health to bring this giant down. You only need the simple, smooth stones I have already placed in your pocket. Those smooth stones are your daily prayers and your loud shouts of praise. When you worship me right in the middle of a terrifying crisis, you are loading a deadly stone into your sling. Pull it back and let it fly. I want you to realize today that fear has absolutely no legal right to dictate your future. The enemy operates on intimidation, not true authority. The blood of my son on the cross completely canceled every single legal claim the enemy ever had over your life, your family, and your mind. The ultimate victory was already permanently won over 2,000 years ago. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a position of absolute victory. Speak directly to your giant today. Open your mouth and tell your crushing debt that it must bow to the name of Jesus. Tell your generational family trauma that the cycle completely stops with you today. Tell your crippling social anxiety that it has to pack its bags and leave your mind immediately. Stand up tall. Square your shoulders. Do not back down one single inch. As you stand your ground in bold, unshakable faith, you are going to watch that massive, terrifying giant completely collapse and fall dead right at your feet. The obstacle that was meant to destroy you will merely become a stepping stone for your incredible promotion. Look very closely at what you are holding in your hands right now. You have been crying out to me for a massive, world-changing assignment. You want the big stage, the massive promotion, and the loud recognition. You look at your current life, the repetitive emails at your desk, the endless laundry, the quiet hours spent helping your children with their homework, and you feel completely invisible. You think these small tasks are just a frustrating waiting room until your real purpose begins. I command you to change your perspective immediately. Your real purpose is already happening right now in the middle of your perfectly ordinary day. I am demanding that you be completely faithful in the small, quiet things I have already given you. If you cannot manage a small, stressful project at your current job with a good attitude, why would I hand you the entire company? If you cannot speak to your own family with kindness when you are tired, how can I trust you to lead thousands of people? You must deeply understand today that you are not the owner of your life. You are the manager of my specific gifts. Every single ounce of talent, every dollar in your bank account, and every hour of your day belongs entirely to me. I am asking you to manage these resources with absolute integrity. I see how easy it is for you to use your talents to build your own ego. You want people to clap for you. You want your boss to praise you. You want your social media followers to validate your worth. Lay your ego down on the floor right now. I did not give you a brilliant mind and a compassionate heart just so you could become famous or wealthy. I gave you those incredible tools to build my eternal kingdom. When you step out for me, you must accept the heavy accountability that comes with this visibility. You answer directly to me for how you treat the people I place in your path. I command you to keep your spiritual lamp trimmed and burning incredibly bright. In the old days, a lamp required daily, tedious maintenance. You had to clean the glass, trim the burned wick, and constantly pour in fresh oil, or the light would completely die. Your spiritual life requires the exact same daily maintenance. You cannot survive on the prayers you prayed last month. You must seek my face every single morning. Pour the fresh oil of my word into your mind daily. Clean the dirty glass of your heart by quickly forgiving the people who annoy you. Do not let your light flicker and fade because you got too busy with worldly distractions. If you stay faithful in the quiet, hidden work, I will absolutely reward you in the open. I am preparing a massive reward for the good and faithful servant. Do not quit now. Keep managing your small assignment with massive excellence, and watch how quickly I multiply your territory. Stop exhausting yourself trying to kick down locked doors. I watch you hustle, grind, and stress yourself into pure exhaustion trying to force your career to move forward. You spend hours meticulously crafting your resume, aggressively networking with the right people, and trying to manipulate situations to get noticed. You are completely drained because you are operating entirely on your own human strength. I am pulling you out of that exhausting rat race today. You are out for me now, and you are stepping into a profound season of supernatural favor. Favor is the unmerited, completely unearned kindness of my heavy hand resting directly upon your life. When you walk in my favor, doors will effortlessly swing wide open for you that no human being on earth could ever shut. You are going to be heavily preferred in rooms that you did not even apply to enter. People who have absolutely no logical reason to help you will suddenly go out of their way to bless you. You will be sitting at your desk, and an opportunity will drop directly into your lap that your coworkers have been chasing for years. They will look at you with deep confusion, wondering how you bypassed all the normal rules. You will know exactly how it happened. It is not because you are the smartest person in the room. It is because you have the strongest God standing behind you. My favor is infinitely more valuable than any amount of silver or gold you could ever save in a bank account. Money can only buy what is for sale, but my favor opens doors that money cannot even touch. My daily grace is going to act like a massive, powerful magnet for my blessings. When you carry my peace, you naturally attract the right kind of people. People will want to do business with you simply because they feel strangely calm when they are around you. When you experience this sudden, crazy success, I give you one massive, non-negotiable command. You must give all the glory directly back to me. Do not let your sudden success make you arrogant. Do not start believing that your own cleverness secured the victory. The moment you take the credit, the magnet stops working. Stay incredibly humble. Keep your knees firmly on the floor in prayer. When people ask you how you achieved such impossible things, look them directly in the eye and tell them the absolute truth. Tell them that God did it. Walk boldly in this unearned grace today, and watch how I make your path unimaginably smooth. Lift your tired eyes away from today's temporary problems and look far into the future. You are so consumed with paying this month's rent and surviving this week's stress that you have completely forgotten the massive picture. I want you to start thinking deeply about the generations that will follow you. The decisions you make today are not just affecting you. They are actively writing the history of your children, your grandchildren, and people you will never even meet. You are currently building a house. Every choice you make is a brick. If you build your life on the shifting, unstable sand of human trends, quick money, and selfish ambition, the first major storm will completely wash your house away. I command you to build your life squarely on the solid rock of my word. A house built on me will never move, no matter how violently the economy shakes or how fiercely the culture changes. I am calling you to leave a rich, heavy spiritual inheritance for your children's children. You worry so much about leaving them enough money, a paid-off house, or a good education. Those things are completely fine, but they will eventually fade away. The absolute greatest wealth you can pass down is the undeniable memory of your unshakable faith. I want your children to remember how you dropped to your knees and prayed when the bank account was empty. I want them to remember the supernatural peace in your home when the world outside was in total chaos. I want your lasting name to be permanently associated with total integrity, deep compassion, and radical obedience. You must start living with a sharp, eternal perspective every single day. When someone insults you in traffic, an eternal perspective tells you to just let it go because it simply does not matter. When you feel tempted to cut corners at work, an eternal perspective reminds you that I am watching your character. Your daily life is an open letter written directly by my own hand. There are thousands of broken people in your city who will absolutely never open a Bible, but they will read your life. They will watch how you handle intense grief. They will watch how you handle sudden success. Your completely surrendered yes today is going to echo through the long halls of history. You are breaking toxic family curses right now. You are starting a brand new lineage of blessing today. Step completely into this massive legacy. Live today for the things that will actually matter 100 years from now. My deeply beloved child, as we bring this divine conversation to a close, I want you to feel the heavy, warm reality of my presence wrapping around you right now. You are about to step back out into a very loud, very chaotic world. Tomorrow morning, your alarm will ring, the traffic will be heavy, the demands of your job will be stressful, and the enemy will immediately try to make you forget everything I have just spoken over you. But I am giving you a permanent, unbreakable promise today. I will absolutely never leave you, and I will never, ever forsake you. Even when you mess up, even when you lose your temper, even when your faith feels incredibly weak, I am not going anywhere. My love for you is not a fragile thing that breaks when you make a mistake. It is a massive, roaring ocean that completely swallows your imperfections. Imagine my heavy, reassuring hand resting firmly on your right shoulder as you walk out your front door tomorrow. Every time you feel a sudden wave of panic in your chest, I want you to physically touch your own shoulder and remember that I am standing right there. I am walking into the hostile boardroom with you. I am sitting in the passenger seat of your car when you feel overwhelmed. I am standing right next to your bed when you cannot sleep. I want to give you total, unshakable assurance that your finish is going to be infinitely greater than your start. You have survived the absolute worst of the storm. The darkest hours of your night are permanently behind you. The morning sun is breaking over your horizon right this very second. Always remember who you truly are. You are my deeply precious child, in whom I am incredibly well pleased. I do not just tolerate you. I absolutely delight in you. I am sending you forth today fully equipped with the blazing fire of my Holy Spirit. Do not shrink back. Do not apologize for the massive light you carry. To speak boldly, love fiercely, forgive quickly. Walk with the undeniable swagger of a royal child who knows exactly who their father is. Your days of hiding are permanently over. You are out for me now. Keep taking the very next step in pure, simple obedience. I will handle all the impossible details. And when your long, beautiful race on this earth is finally over, I will be standing at the finish line with my arms wide open, ready to speak the ultimate final word over your life. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Enter now into my eternal rest. You are deeply loved, fiercely protected, and completely out for me now, absolutely ready to leave a massive, eternal legacy on this earth. I am personally extending my hand to you right now, inviting you to physically partner with my voice here to passionately broadcast this ultimate hope to the millions who are currently weeping in the dark. Your generous contribution is the radiant, burning torch that aggressively carries my unquenchable light into the deepest, coldest valleys of human despair. I speak this divine declaration directly over your bank account. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and see if I will not throw open the massive floodgates of heaven and pour out so much heavy blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Do not wait for tomorrow, because your immediate, bold action today is the exact lifeline a broken, desperate soul needs tonight just to survive. Because you prioritize my eternal kingdom, I will command an overwhelming, breathtaking flood of supernatural multiplication over your resources and establish a permanent, iron hedge of favor around your children. Act instantly by giving a generous super thanks, becoming a dedicated member, or clicking the PayPal link in the description below, and permanently cement your profound impact on eternity. My precious child, the heavy iron doors of your hidden season have been completely shattered, and there is absolutely no going back to the dark shadows. I am urgently commanding you right now to seal this massive, divine breakthrough with your own voice. If you are truly ready to stop hiding and step boldly into the brilliant light of my glory, I invite you to make a powerful public decree today. Type, "I am out for God, and my time is now," in the comments below to permanently break the silence of your painful past. Let this bold declaration be the undeniable spark that ignites a roaring, unstoppable fire of transformation in your life. Speak it firmly, believe it deeply, and walk confidently into your breathtaking new destiny today. Amen.